the students at the beginning of the year brought ideas of things that they would like to find out about this year. They brainstormed in their cooperative groups about those ideas, and then we came up with one class project. At that time, they decided what all they wanted to learn about that about Harry Potter readers, and each cooperative group wrote their own survey. They then brought those surveys back and shared them with the rest of the class. We looked for the good points and the fuzzy points in each one of them, and then we wrote a class composite survey.
As a research project, the class has created and distributed a survey to find out what the average reader of J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter books is like. The teacher begins the lesson by having the students review what they have done on their project so far.
So first of all, this kind of puzzle piece is timeline. Where have we gone? Where have we been? And where are we now in terms of this project we're on? First of all, just for the common good of everyone, what is our project? Who can give us a kind of sum it up in what is the project itself? What is our research? Talk it over in your group and then see if your group can come up with a good way to describe our project. All right, we have several hands up in the air. Michael, would you share with us?
What the average Harry Potter reader is like.
Okay, so our goal, our project goal then was to find out what the average Harry Potter reader is like. What's the next puzzle piece on this? We had a goal of picking a research project. We had a goal of then trying to get the survey out to people so we could get lots of different responses. What's our next stage in this project? David, please.
Some way to put it all together.
Exactly. I couldn't put it any better, David. How do we put it all together? And that's our biggest question right now. That's kind of where we are right now in this project, isn't it? How are we going to take all that data we have? How are we going to glean from it what's important to us and what isn't it? And how are we going to put it together so that we can answer our questions we have?
The teacher then has the students discuss the next steps in their project.
Then what are you going to do with it once you get it all together? Then what are you going to do? Abby, please.
Put it in some kind of big thing that shows that all we've got, like a PowerPoint thing.
Okay, you're going to make a PowerPoint presentation. The advantage of that PowerPoint presentation is obvious. What are we going to be able to do with it when we're finished? What can we do with that PowerPoint presentation? Anyone? Erica?
We can email it out to all the people that gave us information.
Sure, we can email it back out to anyone who sent us information.
The students are also asked to review the math skills they have had to use for the project.
And what are some of the specific math tools of the project? What are some of the math skills we've had to use in analyzing or looking at some of these results? Why don't you talk again in your cooperative groups for a moment? So what kind of math skills have we used? Eric has told us making charts and making graphs. I mean, those are certainly math skills, aren't they? Yes, please. Abby.
Fractions.
We've used fraction concepts. Exactly. David. Percents. And is that what you were going to say too, Austin? All right, thank you. Fractions and percents.
Graphs.
Graphs. Used a few decimal concepts. So all of those things.
The 17 students in the class answered the question, "What is your favorite character in the Harry Potter books?" They then compared their class results to the results of a survey in American Girl magazine. They analyzed the two sets of results using rational number concepts.
Okay, so in this chart, the green, as you say, how do you say her name again? Hermione is what it told us in book 4, didn't it? Hermione has 35%. And did she, you know that in our class she didn't have that high of a percent. Can anyone think of a fraction that is fairly close to 35%? Talk to each other. Austin, please.
We thought it was 1/3 because that equals 33 and 1/3%.
Okay, so that 1/3 is a good knowledge base to have. That you know that 1/3 is worth how much?
33 and
I can't hear you.
33 and 1/3%.
All right, so is this a little bit more or a little bit less than 1/3?
A little bit more.
A little bit more than 1/3. And in our class, did we have anywhere near 1/3 of the people voting for this as her favorite character? No, so Michael, you're right. How many people voted totally for this female character? 653. So if we had 653 that voted for her, how many do you think were in the total survey that answered or responded? This is a good question, people. I think we'll spend a couple more minutes on this one. So if 1/3 is going to equal 653 votes, could you figure out how many were in the whole survey? Could you figure that out? Could you use this piece of information that you know to figure out what you don't know? Talk it over and be able to verify or tell me why you think what you think.
The students work in small groups to formulate their answers and explain their reasoning to the rest of the class.
So how can you put that knowledge into that circle chart up there? How can you put that together? Is this where you're working on it?
Sort of.
All right. Can you explain to your fellow people here exactly what you did and why? I like your thinking. What did this group say? Tyler, what did the Ravenclaws come up with?
We did 653 times 3, and it equaled 1,959, and then it was about 2,000.
1,959, and you said that is about?
2,000.
2,000. Do you agree with their thinking? Do you agree with their thinking?
Yes.
So you're both coming up with about 2,000. You're both looking at it in a little bit different way.
Students are also encouraged to analyze their data and data sources critically. The students work in groups to discuss variables that could have affected the magazine survey results.
So are we in agreement that it's about 2,000 people that answered their survey? Are their results going to be a little bit better than our results with just 17 people answering? Because we're going to have a better sampling, aren't we? But now wait a minute though. We found that she was the character most often picked by the people who responded to the magazine article. Therefore, we can say she is a favorite character of most readers. That was my statement. Do you think it's true or false? Again, talk it over. What are some factors, what are some variables that might enter in that might kind of mess with the data here a little bit? Good comment. I'm hearing right over here, Eric. That's
Our group can't answer because we know too much.
oh. Well, what are some other factors that might enter in? Okay. What could be an important variable? Eric, please.
Well, if you put it in American Girl, a lot of girls are going to answer it. Maybe they like girls in books better than they like guys. And if you put it like in a dirt bike magazine, more guys are going to answer it. Because it's not like a guy's going to go read American Girl.
All right. Or answer a survey from there?
Yeah.
The students work in small groups to identify individual research questions. They keep all of their information in organized portfolios that demonstrate the district goals and objectives.
I'd like your focus for a moment back. I know you know these things. Our effective or our essential learnings that are K through 12 in Waverly Shell Rock, being an effective communicator. Think about how you are doing that. Demonstrating awareness of the audience. Who are you getting this material from? The sensitivity, the communication. How are we writing and reading? And how does that affect what you're doing today? Being a knowledgeable person, a quality producer. We certainly want our finished product to show that. We want to show that we are critical thinkers and problem solvers. When you get those charts and graphs, are they going to make sense? Put it back into that fraction, percent, decimal concepts and see, now, is that really, does it make sense? Is it logical? And being the collaborative worker. That's an awfully important part all the time of a project like this. So our essential learnings are certainly one of the goals of doing the whole project. So be thinking about those again today as we do this.
In the computer lab, students work in cooperative groups to process the data from the returned surveys.
Did you get this one? Just read one?
No, all three.
Only read three? One?
Oh, no.
One, number two, number three?
No.
This thing hasn't been reread.
Students also work in small groups to create charts and graphs that portray their data accurately.
You have to click on this. Watch, click on it. Cancel, go to cancel. 1-7. Graph. No. Scale matches. Okay, I can't symbol.
The charts and graphs the students create will then be used to create a PowerPoint presentation describing the findings of the class survey.